Hey friends, welcome to Truthfully Tarot. My name is Niche, and if you're watching, it's because you want to know the truth. So let's get into it. All right, my Leos for July. So actually I'm gonna start off with my Astro deck because I love to kind of get an overall theme. And astrology is great for picking up on themes and archetypical energies and that type of stuff. So I'm gonna pull from my Astro deck to kind of see what the overall energy and focus for the month of July will be for my Leos. Oh, I'm not gonna take all of that. Very interesting. It's 3. I'll take them. All right. Okay. I kind of, you know what's so funny is before, like I was after I do each sign, I'll like literally reset the deck. And I saw the 2 of Cups and I was like, I wonder if Leos will, like Leo energy, like what Leo is going to be dealing with in July is around partnerships. And guess what card came out? Partnerships. So on this card, it says marriage, relationships, friendships, business partners, contracts, agreements, joint endeavors, sharing, negotiations, cooperation, and relating. And then we have 2 signs, Gemini and Scorpio. And you know, what's interesting about Gemini and Scorpio, both are deeply curious energies, but they do it in completely different ways. So what I mean by that is Scorpio in particular. So on the Scorpio card, it says intense, strategic, secretive, sexual, enticing, extreme, powerful, possessive, passionate, manipulative, competitive, and ruler of the 8th house. And then for Gemini, it says the investigator is like the general title. Curious, social, knowledgeable, analytical, intellectual, quick-witted, anxious, outgoing, inquisitive, easily bored, ruler of the 3rd house. So this energy makes me feel like the month of July is really, Leos are going to be looking a lot deeper into their relationships in the month of July, is what it's giving. It's giving Leos are going to be asking themselves about the quality of their relationships, the quality of their connections, the really investigating what is happening beneath the surface, and do you feel connected at the heart and soul level, and are these relationships fulfilling for you? Are they the types of relationships that are giving back to you? Are they the types of relationships that are reciprocal? It really feels like, you know, it feels like there is going to be an emphasis on you finding out information about a relationship or connection. It feels like for some of my Leos, you'll be finding out something about your relationships and your connections. Again, this doesn't have to be just romantic. Again, business, social, friendships, romantic, family. Like it's just relationships and partnerships in general, right? It's not just strictly romantic, but it feels like you're going to be receiving information, or you're going to find out something about significant partnerships in the month of July. That's going to maybe cause you to go a little bit deeper inside, or you will start really looking into the quality, like I said earlier, of your relationships. Like you're really going to be soul searching regarding your relationships, it feels like, in July, and the types of people that you have that are surrounding you. And I don't even want to say community, because it's not necessarily community, but it feels like either things are going to come to the surface, secrets are going to be revealed, you're going to find out something about your relationships, or like you start looking, like something happens and you're like, I need to look into this, I need to figure out what's happening in this dynamic, or I need clarity, I need more information about this person, that type of thing. It just feels like, and if it's in like, let's say it's not like romantic, let's say it's like a business partnership, it feels like you're going to be like investigating into the quality of this person's business and how they've done business in the past. What types of contracts have they been a part of? Like it feels like what type of partnerships, or for some of us, like brand partnerships or something like that. Like you're going to be investigating in the types of stuff that they've done before, you entering into a partnership with them now. You know, it feels like if there's like a new person that comes into your social circle, it's like you're going to be looking at them like, I wonder what kind of person you are. Like, I wonder what your character is. It's like, or you feel this soul connection, this heart connection. You're like, like I want to explore this deeper. It just feels like there is something about going deeper related to your relationships that's happening in the month of July for my Leos. So let's get into Le Tarot, right? Okay, so bottom deck is 10 of Cups, which is a relational card. It's very evident on the picture. It's about emotional fulfillment. We have the King of Wands, fire. All of this is fire, except for the Cups. Fire energy. King of Wands. We have the Seven of Wands reverse. Somebody's letting down their defenses. And the 10 of Wands reverse, letting go of burdens and responsibilities. Okay, so the King of Wands is the type of person that is very entrepreneurial. He is very, and again, this is gender neutral, but just the card, it's a king, which represents like the yang or masculine energetic, which is very outward focused, where if it was the Queen of Wands, it would be a more feminine yin energetic, which is more internal. But because this is a King of Wands, this is about how you are showing up in the world or who is about to show up in your world, right? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. King of Wands, very go-getter, very I am about my business, very creative, very entrepreneurial, very aggressive, but in a positive way, like someone that's very determined and very focused. That's the King of Wands, but also can be someone that's very responsible. It feels like my Leos may be opening up to a connection or opening up to a partnership in which some of the guard has to be lowered. It feels like a lot of my Leos have their guards up. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be bamboozled. I don't want to be taken advantage of. I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm embarrassed. I don't want to go after something and then it not turn out how I want it to. I don't want to invest in this opportunity and I end up like losing value or losing, the return on my investment, like all of that energy. It feels like there's a need to lower one's defenses and a need to open the heart. Leo actually rules the heart. It's a heart-centered sign. And so it feels like for my Leos, it's like some of you guys have been so focused on what you're doing, what you're achieving, what you're trying to make happen in the world, that maybe some of you guys are neglecting your heart space a little bit and neglecting kind of what you want in your relationships and your partnerships. And so there's a need to not be so like, get out of my way or like move or, like I'm focused, like I'm late, I'm like tapped in, which is not a bad thing, but it feels like instead of being so focused on your goals and so focused on like what you're trying to achieve or what you're trying to make happen in the world, that maybe you're not aware of what's happening in the relationships around you. You're not aware of what's happening to the people around you or what the people around you are going through. It feels like you could be very focused on self right now. And so you're not looking at how you are showing up and how the people around you are experiencing you. And with the Seven of Wands reverse, it feels like an invitation to kind of let go of this like hyper focus on the self and let go of this hyper like I'm busy, I'm like a boss bitch, I'm a boss man, I'm a whatever. It feels like this need to kind of like lower the defenses, lower the guard, slow down a little bit and take a look at what's happening. Like everyone isn't out to get you, Leo. And maybe that could also be why Scorpio is here, because Scorpio can be paranoid. Scorpio can be very like paranoid, baby. And so it could be not everyone's out to get you. Not every person you are on a date with is trying to like screw you over or take advantage of you. It feels like there may be some baggage from the past or a past relationship or a past circumstance that you need to let go of or that you're in the process of letting go of, right? Yeah. if you notice, like in the card upright, this man is burdened by all of the responsibilities. He's burdened by all of the things that he has to carry to this far away like place here. He has to like, it's a burden, you know? And so it feels like some of you guys went through an experience in a partnership where you felt burdened, or you felt burdened by responsibility or duty, and again, it doesn't have to be just romantic. It just feels like there was there is a need to continue to let go of this energy and lower the defenses so that you can like have this 10 of cups, right? This sense of fulfillment, this sense of joy and not ecstasy, that's very strong, but like this sense of being enthralled by love, this sense of being open and receptive to what is for you. It feels like some of my Leos could have had some really difficult relationship dynamics recently, or like in your like history in the past like couple years. You've had some like really difficult relational dynamics, whether that is work or personal or family or friends. Like it just seems like maybe your relationships have been difficult, and it's caused you to like have your guards up and just focus on other things and focus on yourself, which is not a bad thing. But it feels like there is like a hidden energy of like, can you take a second to look at how you are affecting the people around you? Can you look at and investigate how you're showing up in your relationships and your friendships? Can you take a moment to see and hear how your partner, your significant other, your business, your friends, your work people are experiencing you? Like if they say like, hey, like I've been feeling very like not seen, or like you're not listening to me, like being able to not be defensive, like upright. Look, it's like everything that comes to him, he's like knocking it away. He's like defending his territory. Reverse is like, we're letting go of that energy. And so it feels like there's an opportunity for healing in your relationships, in your partnerships, and your friendships, and in your circles, and in your community. But in order for that change, that transformation, Scorpio energy to happen, you have to investigate and look at yourself, Gemini, and hear what people are saying to you about you, and be open to that feedback so that you can have a sense of fulfillment in your relationships. Because there's nothing wrong with being the King of Wands. There's nothing wrong with being a go-getter. There's nothing wrong with being about your dreams and about your goals and about your business. That's not the problem. It becomes an issue when it's at the expense of your loved ones, at the expense of people who are trying to get to know you, who are trying to love you, who are trying to see you, who are trying to connect to you, but you can't see past you to see them. And then to even see how they're experiencing you, so that you can have more harmonious relationships and more harmonious connections. It feels like July, will just be about letting go of being the center a little bit. You know, I'm not saying forever, but for my Leos, like letting go of how you think you are, so that you can hear feedback from people that you love and trust as to how they're actually experiencing you, so that you can have the connection that you really desire. Because it feels like there's a lot of like, I'm doing all this movement, I'm focused on my goals, I'm focused on myself, I'm doing all this so that I can achieve, so I can get, but it almost feels like there's running, like a sense of like running away from something, a sense of avoiding something a little bit. And I think that is why there is this need to investigate a little bit deeper about your relationships and your partnerships and what has happened, what is happening, right? Let's see. Does that resonate? Let me know. Does that make sense, Leos? Does that make sense to any of you guys? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you made it this long in the video. Jeez. Any other messages from my Leos for the month of July? Yeah. The moon, which is connected to our subconscious, which is connected to our fears, our connection to our intuition. And then also like this kind of came out, kind of not, but it's the Magician reversed. And so the Magician is connected to our sense of power and how we manifest what we want out of reality, how we make things real. Like, it's the actual alchemist. The magician is the actual alchemist. It's how we take the subconscious, the moon, and make it real. And so something that's coming to me is the magician reverse and the moon. It feels like, because some of you guys haven't looked at your relational patterns and looked at how you've shown up in relationships, you keep manifesting the same kind of relationships. And maybe that's why you're like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm just going to focus on my money. I'm just going to focus on my bag. I'm just going to focus on my like career, which still don't not do that. But it feels like there's a relational pattern, especially with the moon here. There's a pattern and a subconscious patterning here that you're not seeing about how the types of relationships that you have or how you're showing up in your relationships. With Scorpio here, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's a need to look at what is happening beneath the surface so that you can stop the cycle of manifesting the same kind of connection, the same type of business partners, the same type of friends, the same type of like if it's fuck shit, like if it's toxicity, like if you're manifesting that same bullshit, it's like, why? Like, Leo, are you the common denominator here? And can you take a second to not be defensive and not be the center and not act as if your way is the only way, your perspective is the only way, and how you feel is the barometer? You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's a little hard to hear, but that's kind of the energy. And again, this is truthfully tarot, and I'm not gonna like, it's all said in love, but I'm also not gonna sugarcoat it. It feels like there's a pattern of having a specific kind of relationship or partnership or business pattern or whatever it is, and it's like you don't like it. And so now you're like avoiding it altogether, but it feels like Spirit is not saying like, don't avoid it by overworking or like ignoring it and doing all these things and being busy and doing all this stuff. Like, that doesn't solve it. That actually doesn't get to the subconscious programming that is allowing the same relationship patterns to manifest in your life because you're participating in them, right? Like, if we are constantly in relationships with toxic people, at some point we have to decide, we have to look and be reflective and investigate why, you know, what does it say? Curious, intellectual, knowledgeable, analytical, inquisitive. Like, why am I in these types of relationships? Why do I keep experiencing these kinds of people? And I hesitate to say attract because I don't think that that's the best language. Why do you keep participating in the same dynamics that's causing you to feel like you got to defend yourself? You know, like, what in you is allowing this pattern to continue? The moon is here. So we're talking about something that is like maybe you're not aware of it. And so then it feels like July becomes a month where you either become more aware of these dynamics by asking people their experience of you, or you end up in circumstances or situations where you're going to have to like, ooh, I wasn't expecting to have to deal with this in this relationship right now. Like, I wasn't expecting this to have to come up, and now I have to dig deeper, and now I have to look at myself, and now I have to look at this relationship, and now I have to look at this person. Like, because either way, let's say it's you and you deal with someone who is lying all the time, and you keep kind of experiencing people who lie to you a lot. Like, they won't tell you the truth. And so it's like, are you listening to your intuition? Are you trusting yourself? Are you listening to your heart? Are you connected to your body and your intuition about these people? Because a lot of times people who lie consistently, you kind of pick up on it. And sometimes you may call them out on it or whatever, and then you think that they change, but then they keep lying to you. Well, if you are with someone who keeps lying to you, why are you with them? Them lying is not a you thing, it's a them thing. But if you keep entertaining the liar, it becomes a you thing. You get what I'm saying? And so it feels like July is about you really going deeper into your relationships and looking and taking a hard look at your relationships and taking a hard look at yourself and how you show up. Because at the end of the day, the bottom deck energy is the 10 of Cups, which lets me know that there is hope. There is a beautiful connection that is available to you, a healthy connection that is available to you, a professional relationship that is available to you, partnerships that are financial or, you know, whatever available to you, whatever type of, you know, negotiation of relationship or whatever, like it's a good one is available to you, but it feels like as the bottom deck energy, there's gonna have to be work to like let that energy do its thing. It's like there's a need to let go of the defenses, let go of the past, of burdens, of things that have happened, to free up, so that you free up yourself of these patterns, free yourself of these patterns, so that you can actually manifest what you want, what you need, what you really desire. And so that then you working and being a boss and doing all the things that you do, you're not doing it to avoid your relationships or avoid what's happening in your relationships. You're doing it in light of, like, they're going hand in hand. Your relationships are propelling you forward. They're motivating you, right? So that's kind of the energy that I get for you, Leos. Like there's a lot of fulfillment that's available for you. There's a lot of love that's available for you, but it feels like there's a need to do a lot of introspection around your relationships in the month of July. There's a need to lower the defenses and connect to the people in your environment, either them when they come to you, having an open heart to receive what they're saying, to analyze what they're saying, to take note of what they're saying, or to ask like, hey, how have I been showing up? I've been really busy. I've been really occupied lately. How have I been showing up? How do you feel about our contract? How do you feel about our relationship? How do you feel about our partnership? How do you feel about our dynamic? And then actually listening to them and not centering yourself in that dynamic, so that there is a mutual harmony that can happen, because the Leo is connected to authenticity. Leo is connected to the heart, like I said earlier. And so you want these authentic relationships. You want these authentic, loving, warm, heart-centered connections. But if you are in your way, as someone who is called Truthfully Tarot, I want to illuminate you to how you may be in your way so that you can get what you want. Because I want you to have what you want. I want you to have very fulfilling relationships and partnerships. I want you to have multi-million-dollar partnerships. I want you to have all of the things that you need, right? But I also want to illuminate you if you are in your way, so that if this resonates with you, you can now begin to navigate these things with a bit more awareness, and that's going to get you closer to where you want to go. So that's the message that I have for you for July, Leos. I hope that that's helpful. I hope that that resonates. Let me know what the tea is. I want to hear. Anyway, thank you, Leos. Talk to you soon.